Hey everyone, how are you all doing? I said if it worked, I'd make a video, and it worked. There are a couple things that I messed up on, most of which, if you have a keen eye, you can kind of see what I did screw up on a little bit. But I mean, I could be happier with how this turned out, but from what I wanted to do with putting the Wolverine upper torso on here, and then putting that symbol on here, chef's kiss. Perfect. It worked perfectly. I took the original Superman torso, you know, his upper torso, and I heated up, popped off the forearms, popped off the neck, you know, popped it off obviously from the rest of the body, and everything poured it onto that Wolverine body with perfection. I didn't have to mod anything. I didn't have to do none of that. And I mean, look at how much bigger his biceps look. His biceps look bigger. He looks broader. He looks beefier. He looks more Superman. You know what I mean? Like here, I wanted to show off the biceps. That was like the biggest thing whenever I first did it, because that was like, that and the shoulders were the biggest thing, were the biggest issues with the other one. So, I mean, you can see just how big his shoulders are now. The suit's kind of catching a little bit because of that butterfly joint, but hey, I'm glad that I have a butterfly joint on this now, and I'll go over the articulation in a second. But like, look at that. Look at how big his shoulders look now. The biggest issue that I ran into is a little bit of glue got on his crotch here, so he kind of looks, I mean, you can fill in the blank of what that kind of looks like, but that's only in, like, just this very harsh lighting. And same with, there's a little bit of a red scuff right there from some glue on his symbol, which is a real big bummer. But, I mean, if we bring him closer here, I love how this looks. He looks so good. Like, he's got butterfly joints now, which is so awesome. The articulation isn't hindered. You know, he can still do a whole bunch of Superman poses, and like it kind of gets in the creases and stuff, so you see a lot more musculature going on. And it wasn't hard to do. All I did for the suit was just cutting up, you know, I cut down the seam right here. And shout out to my mom for doing this real quick stitch, because I was trying to learn it and I messed it up so much, and I was like, please help me. And she did, so nice. She turned out very good. I glued the cape down as well to this body. I also trimmed down the cape as well on the insides here so it wouldn't stick up as much. The cape, I think, could be a little better. I think I could have done a lot better on that. But it's really hard to get that to lay flat. It's very hard to get it to lay as nice as, say, the Mafex one. Like, look at how just nice that lays over his shoulders. It's kind of hard to do that if you don't... It's hard to do that on a fabric thing, I feel like, because... Well, actually, I was going to say that that's the case. Okay, no. It is hard to do on a fabric thing if you have it wired, because if I bring in the Kingdom Come Superman that doesn't have a wire in the cape, that drapes beautifully. But this, you know, it could be better. It's good, though. I like it. But his musculature is a lot more on par with this this Superman now. His height is still a problem, in my opinion. I think his height is a problem, because if I bring in, you know, my Batman from that I will make a video on, I will. There's a lot of stuff that I have to do first, but, you know, still, like I said, hold me accountable. If, you know, like a month goes by and I haven't done it yet, just start attacking me in the comments. I mean it. I give you all permission. But like, if I bring in Batman, he's still, I mean, he still isn't as big as Batman, but that's okay, because, you know, like, for instance, in the Snyderverse, Ben Affleck is fucking, with that suit, he is, you know, taller and like 8 times the size of Henry Cavill's Superman, which is insane because Henry Cavill's massive. But, you know, Henry Cavill is the actual massive. Ben Affleck got really big for that role. Don't get me wrong. He got really big as Batman, but his suit also had a lot of padding in it. But, like, this looks good. I like this. I like this a lot more now. If you take, like, this right here and a side-by-side from this and then the original video before I actually did the modifications and, you know, switched the upper torso, this just looks... See, this is what Mezco could have made. You know what I mean? Like, they had the tools. They had the tools. Everything was right for it. They could have done it, and they chose not to. A lot of people did put the Mezco logo from the original Superman on here, and it looks so beautiful. I don't have that, so I had to go with this. And if you look, one of the little mess-ups is right there. You can see the little bit of the underneath of that other emblem coming off, or coming through. And that is really only noticeable if you go looking for it. And there's nothing I really could have done about that, at least from what I know. I don't know, though. If there's any way that, you know, you guys could think of to help me try to remove that, let me know, please. Like, I could try paint, but I don't know if it's going to do it. And I'm afraid to try to chip at it because I don't want the fabric to tear, you know? And my God, the symbol, the hardest thing for this was the symbol, because this was the McFarlane Rebirth Superman. And oh my God, that thing Plastic thickness wise, it was about this thick. It was seriously about that thick. So I had to cut off and try to get it as thin as possible without screwing it up or anything like that. And once I did that, I used a heat gun and I heated up until it basically burned my fingers to the touch. Like that's, some of that is skin, honestly. On that logo, it's like a little bit of glue and a little bit of skin because it like burned my hand because I had to get it that pliable in order to get it to shape his chest. You know what I mean? Because before it just kind of stuck on there and it looked too big and it didn't look like as organic as, well, I mean, you know, as organic as it can, as like this Batman logo, you know what I mean? But having these two with the sculpted belts and the sculpted symbols and the very nice head sculpts and the sculpted boots and then the big muscular bodies and wired capes, this is my world's finest right here. This is my world's freaking finest. They just, God, they look so good. And then the teaser for, you know, who I will always consider to be the best DC character of all time because I have a soft spot for him. Here's Nightwing, you know, here's a little quick sneak peek at that. So, which I did give a sneak peek at that in the thumbnail for this one, maybe? I don't know. I can't remember. I take so many photos that I don't post. I need to post more. Part of me feels like an ass for being like, oh, just look at it. They're so beautiful. Look at my work that I made. But it's not just me. You know, obviously, I didn't make all this. Like, I mean, I put it together, but I didn't do the original sculpting or the original painting, you know, like that kind of stuff. But at the same time, I did so good on these and I'm so proud of them. And I can't wait to make a Mezco Wonder Woman because I have the Mezco Wonder Woman, but I took all of her armor off and everything because I'm going to give her a more articulated body. And once I'm able to actually get that figured out, I'll make a video on her as well because I love the Trinity. They're just perfect. I love the three of them. And I already have, you know, I have my world's finest with these two. They look just beautiful together. I love this, and I can't wait to make Diana to go with them. God, they just look so good. I'm so happy with how these turned out. You know, customs always, there's always something that's just a little off that you don't like. And this Superman does have that, of course. But, God, they just look so good together with the classic colors and logos and the head sculpts. They're just, mwah, you know? So, that's going to do it from me. And I will catch you all in the next one. See you.